Kicking off this women's A-bar final then, it's Kexin from China, qualified with a massive 15.975. Olympic champion from Beijing.
And so smooth, and watch this original combination, and that was fingertips, wasn't it? But her swing is so smooth. She's grown a bit since we saw her in Beijing, has to change shape. Another fantastic release, the front somersault straight, down to the low bar, back up again. This is wonderful work. Clear circle, just needs to, big dismount, full twisting double back. Well, she has laid the gauntlet down.
Hasn't she just? And it was all about those first two release and catches. You felt if she got hold of the second one, she'd carry that momentum through. And I think she had a slight moment herself there on the second release and thought, yes, game on.
Yeah, it was quite low, the second release. It's a very difficult combination. You have to catch the first release at full stretch and then take that swing into the second release. And she really was a bit short on swing.
Amazing body line, though. Absolutely. Hitting handstand.
There we are. Look, this is the first. Yep. And then quite low on that second one. You can see she was right under the bar by the time she caught. And the judges will take marks off for that.
I just thought her line was so impressive. I mean, she's not the tallest of girls. She has grown since Beijing, but she looks so tall and looking graceful when she's swinging that bar.
Yeah, in Beijing, she didn't have to change shape when she swung down between the bars. Now she does have to, which changes the swing quite a bit, but she's coped with it fabulously.
Super work.
She was just first class. First class. And goodness me, as you say, Chris, you know, she's laid down the gauntlet, and what a benchmark for all of these gymnasts to follow. Well, a score of 16 is going to be very difficult to beat, but look at the difficulty, 7.1. Enormous.
Huge difficulty.
Well, the next gymnast chalking up, preparing these bars. It's Yong Hwa, 19 years old. People's Republic of Korea.
People's Republic of Korea, Yong Hwa.
She goes. She was third highest qualifier. She had a difficulty of 6.5.
And was very impressive in qualification. Look at the height from the low bar to the high bar. Hits that handstand. The really good gymnasts almost seem to stop. And look at this. 1.5 twist, she released the bar, 1.5 twist, and now squat dislocation. Very unusual for the girls to do this, but she's lost her swing. The full pirouette took her out of line, and she had to take that extra swing there, but now she's back in the rhythm. The front somersault, then dropped straight to the low bar, straight back up to the high bar. Another super handstand. Just winds up, double straight dismount. What a shame about that little bobble in the middle.
Yeah, I'm sure many people out there watching this won't realise that extra little swing in the middle, but it's very, very costly. You just have to keep going from one move to another without any little sort of forward or backward swing in the middle, and unfortunately for her, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but she's fairly new on the stage here, and she's got a very impressive routine. This was the full turn, a hop full turn, and watch this, 1.5 twist, body straight and re-grasp. And she then went for another huge difficulty, squat and dislocate through the shoulders, and then the full pirouette from that. You can see she was out of line. She would have done a front somersault from that, but she wasn't straight enough, so she had to take another little upstart and handstand to make the front somersault that she links straight into the drop to the low bar.
But everything, I mean, you know, you talk about hitting that 12 o'clock position right at the top, that handstand. Look, rock solid.
Yeah, absolutely. Feet right above the head and super dismount, really flighted. You could feel she was lifting through the air. Head jammed down between the arms, which is great technique. Body upright on landing. No deductions for a deep position.
Well, judges think about the difficulty. Will she lose marks for that? That extra little swing in the middle?
Yeah, she will, yes, because it was an empty swing. So it probably will add up to about a 0.5 deduction, not as much as a fall. I mean, she made a wise decision to not throw the Jaeger and miss altogether. So it was a sort of cost-saving exercise, but there will be some deductions for it.
Her Kexin, she scored 8.9 for her execution. That's a score out of 10.
Yes, most of that would have been for that low second release. They'll have had some deductions there.
But I mean, 16 as a score to start with is a big mark to chase.
Yeah, phenomenal score. And the gymnasts on asymmetric bars seem to be able to build difficulty better than on any other apparatus. It's really, this open-ended judging system is giving lots of opportunity for new innovations.
Well, she was given a 6.3 for difficulty, 14.65. That's 1.35 behind her Kexin. Next little gymnast up onto the air bars. It's Koko Tsurumi. We really enjoyed watching her yesterday in the women's all-around. She took bronze.
Pike in and out and straight up to the high bar. That's taxing for a tiny gymnast. Pike in and out again. Turns, lovely turn on top of the bar. That was dead straight, and she made it immediately into the Jaeger somersault, into the front somersault. Down into handstand. She's linking everything tremendously well. Turns, those turns have to try and be right on top of the bar. 1.5 there, just a little tiny bit late. Another wonderful double straight dismount.
Just as confident as she was yesterday.
Amazing to watch.
Brilliant. She's a super little gymnast, packed with charisma as well, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. And these gymnasts you're seeing, they every day will train 4 or 5 of these bar routines to get perfection. That little bit of a bent elbow on the pike in and out, the judges will take marks off for. Shouldn't really ever see any bent arms, but that turn was fabulous, Mitch, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and the way she did squat in to make the pike in and out, she was absolutely clear. And with bent arms, it would lessen the space she had. She's got great technique. I love that double layer.
Well, she scored 15.5 yesterday. Or 15.05, I should say, yesterday.
There, the dismount holds that straight open shape, doesn't she? She, of course, is still tiny and really doesn't need to change her body shape as she swings between the bars.
But that brings problems, doesn't it? There's a long gap between the bars when you're that size, especially when you come to certain skills to joint at the top.
Yes, and if you notice, the coach stood by when she dropped down to the low bar, obviously something that causes her a little bit of concern.
But she smacked into handstand, half turn, smacked the handstand. Great work.
Well, she's into second with 14.875. The difficulty was down on the previous gymnast by 0.1, but she, at the moment, is in silver medal position.
That just shows you how dominant Kexin is. She's 1.125 ahead of the nearest rival.
Serena Pescetta, Italy, 16 years old. The lowest start value, so she won't want to give too much away on execution.
And usually starts straight up on the high bar. Immediately shows the forward elements. Oh, she caught her foot, didn't she? Gymnasts have to show forward and backward elements. Have to show different grips. She's going for that move again. Oh, but I think she probably would have meant to half turn. Now we're seeing all sorts of exit plans here. The Kachev over the bar, the release and catch. Oh!
It's all gone. It's similar to Pomelos when you lose your momentum on this piece.
Well, you rehearse an order, don't you? And then when the order gets out of sync, you think so quickly. I mean,
well, if you think that these gymnasts, the girls, they count their 8 highest moves, well, she's probably done about 10 already. But they were all very low level moves. They were A's and B's, so she would be wanting to put her more difficult moves in. But she was tired by the time she came to that one. This is the drop down to the low bar and then back up. Those are also requirements. She's swinging smoothly now, the full pirouette. The double straight, a good dismount considering what had gone before.
It was actually good for her to come off and just kind of collect herself, wasn't it? And get back on and think, right, yes, I'll just get on there, do a few swings and a nice little dismount.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she'd done so many exit plans and so many extra elements that she couldn't have continued on, could she, Mitch?
No, it's very, very difficult. I bet there must have been about 16 elements in that routine. But, you know, she was determined, and that's the story, isn't it? You've rehearsed all this stuff. You're determined to tell the judges just what you can do. And when it goes wrong, you just need to get back on and say, well, I can swing this apparatus, and you are going to see it.
She was trying an endo, the straddle in, with her hands in an invert position, which is a very difficult move and will get you lots of marks, which is why she certainly wanted to have it counted. But that was the cast front somersault, and she was well down below the bar. You can see you want to catch with your shoulders above the bar.
There's the dismount one more time. Not too costly on the dismount.
No, nice and flighty. When you see it in slow motion, you can see the slightly bent legs, can't you? Here, there, legs apart, feet turned up. Which are just minor tenths the judges will take off.
Oh, very hard.
Me and Mitch are
Well,
looking
I'm
at
sorry, we'll have to put in a complaint.
Well, fourth at the moment, 11.95 Voloshova. Just wonderful to be here, I guess. So there we are then, current leader, Kexin. That enormous score of 16. The next gymnast who is preparing the bars will do her very best to try and threaten that. It's Larisa Miller from Australia. A long journey here, of course. She's from Brisbane. She started gymnastics because her sister did. She just finished outside of the medals yesterday in the all-around.
Slightly different technique on the shoot up to handstand then. The pike in and out again, and very good full pirouette out of it into the king. She's very stylish gymnast, legs locked tight together, just a tiny bit short of handstand there. But she's very clean in her work, very measured. Now we see the forward elements, the big front somersault, the turn to get round the other way for the dismount. Like in and out. You can use those elements more than once in different ways. Full twisting double back. Really strong work.
Yes, watch out for this performance here, featuring in the medals.
Her technique on the stooping, Christine, was classic. Laying the shoulders back, late in, clean out. It was lovely technique. I thought that was very impressive to see.
Yes, and because she does that so well, she can use it, here we go, with a full pirouette, there we are. She uses it with the full, and then she can use it later in the routine, but that's a beautiful ginger, isn't it? You can see the legs locked together.
Yeah, great work, and the Australians used to be very impressive on bars, didn't they? It's good to see them back again.
It is indeed. Just a little close to the bar on that, the bent arms. You know, this is where the gymnasts, for their execution score, start from 10, and then the judges, you laugh at me, but they're much more eagle-eyed than me, I'm assure you. Here's that lovely front somersault, and she was well above the bar. So, you know, they won't be taking deductions there for the height of that. Very classy. Even knees locked together for the dismount. A little reminiscent of Beth in her terms of extension and amplitude.
Indeed. And she, well, I was very impressed because it was businesslike, to use that term.
Well, she's just outside of the medals at this stage, 14.575. Kexin still leads. The first of the two Americans in this final, Bridget Sloan. She took gold yesterday, just having a little drink beforehand. It's funny, we were saying earlier at the pommel horse that gymnasts have this little ritual at the chalk bin. Some people bring their own chalk, don't they?
Yes, most of them do have their own chalk in the box, make sure that they're happy with how the handguards are fitting.
Bridget Sloan then. She qualified 6th.
Smoothly she chooses to do the change of grips right at the beginning of the exercise, and she generates very good, powerful swing. Uses the toe on and off action, lovely big Kachev. But she doesn't link the moves quite so smoothly. That was very good. Each time after the release, she's put in an upstart and a handstand, so she doesn't gain quite the difficulty of the gymnast who can go straight in. But she doesn't give very much away. She's good and clean, full of energy. Watch for this. Double straight with full twist. Great dismount.
She had a go, Mitch.
She certainly did. And I love her technique on the Kachev. If we see it, she really rotates the heels back, so she's got plenty of swing there if she needs it. Good technique. Some of the Kachevs go high, but they just plop on the other side of the bar, and I thought that was great technique from her. But she's only 17 and she's got Olympic experience as well, Matt, so...
That's it, yeah.
She's a very powerful gymnast, isn't she? Here you see the lift from the low bar up to the high bar, with lots of swing.
She performed a routine in qualification with a difficulty of 5.9, and when you put that up against the difficulty of Kexin at 7.1.
There was the Kachev Mitch was talking about, lovely and high, you see, but some of the gymnasts go straight down to the low bar. She takes the upstart handstand, the same with this. Now that was a little bit offline, wasn't it?
She certainly had enough rotation from that Kachev to go immediate. It's something perhaps they'll focus on, but that was incredible, wasn't it? Full twist and a double straight.
Tremendous dismount, especially from quite a tall gymnast. She has to open the hips under the bar and really give it some power up into the ceiling.
Still riding high from yesterday's gold medal.
Or as Matt would say, give it some welly.
Absolutely. Pair of them there. Okay then, Bridget, what the judges got in store for you? You scored 15.8 yesterday in the all-around. 14.6 qualification.
So that was an awful lot better second day round.
So often if you hit the all-around, it's a bit of an anticlimax, but that's certainly not happened with her, is it?
She looks a very strong gymnast, doesn't she? She looks like she really packs the training in. I'm sure she can do her routines time after time.
Well, you think that the Australians have been, they put in an inquiry, Larisa Miller's performance. She was given 14.575 with a difficulty of 5.9. So they'll be looking into that, and we'll be able to get on with Bridget Sloan's score.
The dismount, you can see how she uses the bar, bends the bar down and waits for it to catapult her up into the air.
She may have released just a fraction too early there, I think. She seemed to ping a little.
14.6 for Bridget Sloan, same as qualification. Ranked 4th.
And that's on difficulty, isn't she? She was only given 5.9 difficulty.
And next up now from Romania, Porgras.
So enjoyed watching this gymnast yesterday. Incredible body type.
And also using that stoop in and out. They've really got to nail these handstands, and that pirouette was great but was late, wasn't it? The last half turn only just happened in time. Better on the full turn, and again. Gosh, she's packing, you see she is linking moves really ambitiously. It makes it quite a short routine as well when you do that. Another wonderful double straight dismount.
She's got the moves, she's got the grace, and she has got the style. And she got a medal.
Well, I'll tell you what, your point about handstands, Christine, do they really expect 1.5 turns to land in handstand? That's a huge ask, isn't it?
Well, yes, yes, they do want 1.5 turns to land in handstand, and there's deductions for how many degrees off handstand you are. They're fairly tolerant if it's only a short way off handstand, but are we going to see this? Look, 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 that last half turn only just happened before her feet got to the low bar, so that'll be 0.3 or even a little bit more. And just a tiny fraction apart. Now this one again is a little bit late, you see, by the time she finished. But she did very, very well because she linked it straight into the next move. So it's a short routine. So the more moves you have in, the more chances of giving marks away to the judges.
And she waited on this release as well before she got into the dismount.
She did, didn't she?
Lovely.
She'll tidy all those little things up. When we next see her, those things will be spot on.
Well, 14.65 is the score to beat at the moment if she wants to get up into the top 3. It's Koko Tsurumi. So Porgras, just one gymnast to go after her. Porgras, yes, she has gone up into the top 3, 14.675 with one gymnast to go. Koko chuckles, she's in silver medal place. So Rebecca Bross, last gymnast, she was the second highest qualifier here.
And this routine has bags of energy. And that turn did finish in handstand, didn't it? Really, lots of energy, super tight body. Look at the height on that catch. If she was sky high. Very deliberate with her actions, and another huge release, but bent her legs as she swung through. Only a tiny deduction, another very good pirouette. Flies down to the low bar. She's very positive with everything, isn't she? Really strong. Just a slight bend of the legs past the low bar as she winds up into the dismount, but no deductions on the landing.
The height of that dismount was incredible.
The whole routine for me had that little bit of extra special attack. There was height, there was flight, there was risk. Great to see. Oh, Luke in there, he'd be quite pleased with that.
Definitely. He trained his daughter to win the all-round at the Olympics. She can't half-work bars. Well.
And this is a young gymnast he's had coached from a very young age. He trained with Nastia Lukin, who, like you said, Matt, is the Olympic champion. But you just see the slight bent legs as she goes past the low bar. It is a technique that's allowed, but if you bend your legs, there is a deduction attached to it. But that catch-off was huge, wasn't it?
I love the way she selects all those different body shapes. Before the pike in, she goes arch, then very quickly pikes. She's got super body discipline. This was a great routine. I don't know what it'll score, but exciting to watch. And look at the height on that dismount.
Fabulous. By leaving the hips open past the low bar, you can really get some lift. You can see there, she leaves the hips open and then kicks with the head right down. Fabulous dismount.
14.675, it's third, and she ties with Anna Porgras. Well, what about that? Kexin, world champion on bars, matches her Olympic gold.
And the huge difference between first and second place, 1.125. Now, had Beth managed to do a steady routine, she has a 6-8 start value, and you can see that she really would have been the only one to challenge Kexin.
Well, there are the results then. Here, Kexin, she is bars world champion. Koko Tsurumi gets a silver to go with the bronze that she got in the all-around. Anna Porgras does get a medal here at the World Championships, ties with Rebecca Bross, both for bronze.